Hello and welcome to A Few Minutes with the Mayor. My name is Damian Graham. I'm with the City of Raleigh, and of course we have our Mayor, Nancy McFarland, here with us. Today we are shooting from the beautiful Union Station in downtown Raleigh, which we've talked about a couple times in previous episodes. But the theme, as you might guess, is transit and the big changes that are going on with transit for our community. So Mayor, let's start off by talking about what's called the Wake Transit Plan, or the Wake Transit Initiative. And the community had a referendum about 2 years ago saying do they want to invest half-cent sales tax towards transit improvements in our community. Where are we with that plan being implemented?
Well, we've been working very hard. I know some people think you haven't done anything, but even something as simple as we added Sunday bus service, and we saw an increase in ridership of like 78%. I mean, it was amazing how just adding that one piece of it really helped to increase ridership. You know, I think people also didn't understand that it takes like 18 to 20 some months to get a bus.
It does.
So we have added, I think it's 19 new compressed natural gas buses to the fleet. We have about 23 more on order. So a lot of it was you know, an incredible amount of planning. As you said, it is the Wake County Transit Plan, so it's all of Wake County, and then of course we're part of Go Triangle because it really is about not only getting around in Raleigh and Wake County, but how do we connect to the Triangle as a whole.
It's easy for folks to sort of want to see, well, where's my tangible result? Where can I see this next bus? But as you mentioned, it takes at least over a year to get a bus once you've figured out how you're going to use the thing. So it does take time. So as you referenced, it is a county-wide plan.
Right.
We are one of many municipalities within Wake County, plus our regional partners and Go Triangle. What is our role within how this thing moves forward?
Well, we have many roles. It's a collaboration between all the municipalities and also NC State, representatives from the county. We, of course, work very closely with CAMPO, which is Capital Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is the long-range transportation organization that plans within a certain area, within a certain metropolitan area.
Okay.
And so it's a combination of increasing the bus service, increasing the number of buses, the number of routes. More importantly, is increasing the times, looking at 15-minute intervals for many of our highly used corridors instead of 30, some even before were 60 minutes, which is really tough. If you're depending on a bus service to get to work, you've got to have at least a 15-minute interval. We're adding a lot of shelters and passenger amenities. Right now, we're also, the City of Raleigh is the project administrator for the BRT, or the Bus Rapid Transit Corridor, and there's going to be 4 of those. So kind of think of like a light rail car, but on rubber tires. And that will be a key component of sort of centralizing all of those other bus services.
And Bus Rapid Transit, just to expand on it more, is a very dedicated, consistent form of bus travel in a certain corridor.
Yes, and it has, the stations are more like stations, like what you would think
not
of
stops,
as
but stations.
It's not just a stop, it's a real station.
And going back to the conversations that led up to the referendum, one of the things you just talked about was more frequency versus expanding the number of routes. Do you recall about what kind of conversation, what debate was there regarding that?
It's always comes down to how much money do you have to work with, and we could figure out if the referendum passed, now we knew, you know, pretty much how much money that would give us a year to work with, and so we had to really look at what was more important. I mean, you'd love to increase all the lines all over the county really quickly, but there just isn't enough money with that to start out with. So we really felt like increasing the frequency, increasing making the time you had to wait between buses shorter for those really heavily traveled routes, the people that really are relying on this. And then it's a matter of really expanding it out. And to me, it's all about providing a service that people want to use, you know. And I think, you know, last year, I think it was, we passed a motion to provide free bus passes to students from like 13 to 18. And I think we've already had something like 50,000 trips.
Wow.
It's amazing since they implemented that in the summer. And that is really, not only is that a great thing to do for students, but it also gets that generation used to using transit, and that's really a big part of what we want.
Well, so let's pivot a little bit just to this beautiful building that we are standing in and sort of featured behind us with the lovely holiday decorations. But as we talked about, this is a great new facility. What does it mean for transit, and what does it mean for the city of Raleigh to have a place just like this?
Well, this is incredibly beautiful, and I think it means a lot of things. It obviously shows everyone that we are serious about transit and transportation in the city of Raleigh, and that we see a great future for this city and this area. You know, anybody that's been in a fast-growing area, and we see it here, we have lots of people moving and lots of cars, and we have to have a good underlying transit system to allow people to get around without that. But you know, the one thing we did is when the city steps up and makes an investment like this with the help of the federal government, we did get Tiger grants for this, then the area around it sees that the city is serious about this, and this is really important to us, and that's when we start to see things like the Dillon. And when you start to get, you know, private investment in this area, then that helps to build our tax base, which helps us, you know, in expanding more services and things. So it really, it says a lot on many different levels. It also sets a standard architecturally, you know, for what we expect in the city.
Well, and there's even more good news. We got just this week, our partners at Go Triangle were successful working with our federal partners.
Right.
So it's catty corner from where we're standing now, a brand new regional bus facility, which will also build on top and sort of continue to build that growth in the warehouse district.
It's great because we really do, as I said, see this as a center for multimodal transportation. You know, obviously we have the trains here, and we have Amtrak comes here, and in the Go Triangle plan is a commuter rail that would connect us. I mean, we already had existing rail lines, so it's really a matter of working with the different railroads to work, because they do a lot of freight through here. So how can we work with them on timing and really use commuter rail to link all of the triangle together, since the tracks are already there, and you think about them going up Route 1 and the other places that they go could be really advantageous. So when we have a station down here for bus, and you know, the ability to have BRT and bus and all these different modes of transportation have a centralized location, is going to be huge for us.
And there's a sound, perfect timing.
There's a train.
Clearly, as fast as we are growing as a community, it's important to have this forward thinking and providing options for mobility moving forward. I know it's been a top priority. Transportation in general has been a top priority for council for quite some time.
Oh yeah, it seems like we've been working on it forever, but it, you know, it takes a lot of time, and we have a lot of great dedicated staff that are working on things like getting those Tiger grants, securing that federal money, because transportation is it is city and county and state and federal. I mean, it's all those multiple layers. So, yeah.
Well, thank you as always for Mayor for coming and taking some time, and thank you for watching us. If you have a chance to come down to the Union Station, please do. We'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thanks.